Hi, folks. Now that we're done with the midterm examination, I would like to end the rest of this course for this semester with a series of videos of specific small group communication skills and perspectives you might need somewhere down the line. So in a moment, I'll start talking with you about the importance of an organization having a mission statement. In future videos, I'll be talking to you about some of the important and indeed essential small group communication skills to have in any kind of organization. The next video will be on how to run and conduct performance reviews. As an offshoot of that, I will share with you about the 5 key interviewing skills in performance reviews or in hiring interviews or some kind of salary arbitration. I will talk to you a little bit, since this is a communications course, about some of the key elements of giving a formalized short business presentation. I will be also creating a video on communication issues in project management. Then I will also talk to you about how to handle difficult people, understanding them and confronting them. So these series of videos will be those that you will have access to and continue. All the videos in this series, when we're done with the course, I will keep up posted on this YouTube channel so that at any point in the future, you can access those to remind yourselves of some of the things we cover, or if you've encountered a situation that one of these videos can help you with. So that's where we're going for the rest of the semester. Okay. I am still an idealist. I believe that organizations should have a unifying philosophy of what they do and why they do it. The best way to do that is to have a formalized mission statement. Now, mission statements may seem a little out of touch with the Great Resignation of 2021. I'm finding that a lot of people who are quitting their jobs, changing their career directions, want to work for an organization that matters, and they want to matter within that organization. It's one thing to have a vision. It's another thing to have a mission. Mission is much more formalized. Over the decades, I have helped organizations help them create mission statements. Now, this is much more than having it on a nice piece of paper. Mission statements should be living documents that everybody in the organization knows. For example, quickly, what is the mission of Western Nevada College? If you ask that question of all of the instructors and employees and staff of WNC, you will receive blank looks. The poor souls, bless their hearts, who helped create WNC's mission statement obviously have never created one before. And you compound that with the academic notions of protecting departments or using different types of verbiage, that the mission becomes untenable. Here, let me read it to you. For WNC, our mission, WNC contributes to solutions for the 21st century by providing effective educational pathways for the students and the communities of Nevada. Huh? What does that mean? How do people live that mission? Again, bless their souls for having the courage to do that, but they didn't follow some of the basic notions of how to use a mission statement. A mission statement in and of itself, collecting dust in the bottom of a desk, is useless. Mission statements are living documents that everybody in the organization should have a copy of, not necessarily memorizing it, but having a mission that they feel a part of, that they can live and embrace every single day. One of the most famous mission statements in history was from John Fitzgerald Kennedy when he was president. And this really wasn't a mission statement. Remember, those of you who are old enough to remember, in the early 60s, he said the mission of NASA, National Aeronautics and Space Administration, is to put a man on the moon and return him safely before the end of the decade being the 60s. That's nice. That's not a mission. It is the goals. Organizational missions and organizational goals are two separate things. The goals are the spokes of the wheel of looking at specific objectives and plans to reach those objectives. The hub, the core of it, is the mission of the organization. What are our values? What are our standards? Do we have a code of ethics? Who do we serve and how do we serve them? A mission statement is and should be a lofty way of looking at what binds us all together, whether it's in a nonprofit organization or a for-profit business. I believe that if all employees understand the concept of the mission and have a sense for what it is, they can start living that. And I believe organizations who have these living mission statements that people understand and live daily, they are a lot more effective, consistent, and oh, by the way, they are more receptive to making changes, to pivoting, to being more flexible and agile as situations occur. Now, this flexibility doesn't mean you're giving up the mission. This flexibility, all that means is that we're going in a different direction and we're still holding true to our values. Mission statements should also be attributed to the early visions of the people who made the organizations. They might have been visionaries, they might have been idealistic, and they helped create the dreams from which the mission is a little more structured and controlled. One of my favorite mission statements is from a golf club company who I played their golf clubs for the last 35 years. And the golf club company is Ping out of Phoenix, Arizona. And they had just a great, simple mission statement where other golf companies say that they want to do things, make the game easier for the golfer. Ping's mission statement was quite simple and elegant in its own simplicity. They said, Ping is an engineering company that makes golf clubs. Think about that for a second. It's not a golf club company directly and primarily. They're an engineering firm that, oh, by the way, makes the best golf clubs in the world. Is that they have taken pride throughout Mr. Solheim and Mrs. Solheim's vision of it in the late 1950s to where it is today, that they're an engineering firm. They wanted to have science dictate how to make good, consistent, and playable golf clubs for everybody. And so they are primarily an engineering firm. That mission sets them apart from everybody else. Mission statements can be as simple as that, or they can be more complicated, filling up a page of paper. That's sometimes fine as well. Mission statements, though, have to be shared with everybody, whether it is the employees, whether it is in their product brochures, whether it is in daily communications with vendors or with clients. Here's what we are, here's what we're all about, and here's how we do it. I'm going to talk to you about a couple words now that have been included in mission statements that I want to make more real. One word I don't want to see in mission statements is a word that's been used a lot in the last 10 years, and that's tolerance. Tolerance implies I'm tolerating people. It also implies that there is some kind of power hierarchy of probably old white men who accept people from different backgrounds and tolerate them. There's no room in a good forward-thinking company that thinks that we have to tolerate, put up with some folks. There are two beautiful sounding words that are in some mission statements that we have to make more real. And those words are diversity and inclusion. Beautiful sounding words. And if we keep them at that nice idealistic level, it doesn't connect with the mission. It is everybody's responsibility in the organization that if you use these words, diversity and inclusion, you have to break it down what that means for everybody, particularly at a supervisory level. Those supervisors have to be educated and trained enough to not only understand those two concepts of diversity and inclusion, they have to live those in their daily practices with their employees. Now, all of these two wonderful words, these two wonderful concepts rely on this concept. We are all equal on the job in the organization, even though we may have different titles, different responsibilities, even different pay schedules. We are all equal, but we are not the same. Equality does not mean sameness. Equality means we are all the same, all in the same boat, hopefully pulling together. It's been said that diversity in organizations brings in a greater breadth of fresh air to how we organize things. That doesn't mean everything goes along nice in a copacetic way all the time. Diverse organizations will disagree, but there's part of us all being together, and all of us including people together makes the organization stronger. It is not run by old white males anymore. We bring in people from different sexes, different ages, different nationalities, different races, different cultural backgrounds. And through this may have some growing pains. And through this increased diversity of including people at all levels, listening to people at all levels, disagreeing and working out through some of the disagreements, the organization becomes stronger. There is more depth to the organization, and there is also more flexibility. If you use these concepts in your mission statement of diversity and inclusion and equality, you have to define those. You have to make those practical. Now, what it is if you are in an organization that doesn't have a mission statement? That's fine. Many organizations do not see the need for it or do not know how to do that. That sometimes within an organization, there's only so much you can do as an underling. But bring up the notion of what was the original vision of the founders of this organization. Bring up what are our values? What are our standards? What are our priorities? Do we have a code of ethics? Do we, for example, take pride in doing the job right the first time? If you start talking about these things, people will start saying, yeah, these things are important, and everybody has to understand that. That's where bringing in some kind of outside consultant or doing it inside within internal committees, which has some pluses and minuses to it, they can create a mission statement. Remember the two parameters. It has to be a living document. You have to make it real so people every day can understand that. Early in the semester, we've talked about needs-driven organizations versus values-driven organizations. Remember that? Is that values organizations, almost all of them, have somewhere within their ranks a mission statement that everybody knows, and that they do implement those values on a day in and day basis that aligns with the mission. Who are we? What are we all about? What are we supposed to be doing? How are we supposed to be doing it? Our values, our standards, our priorities. Now, these can be very simple and elegant, as Ping's was, of an engineering firm that makes golf clubs, or it could be a nicely scripted 2-3 paragraph mission statement. The important thing is to make that real and applicable on every single day. So people are indeed living the mission. And in fact, then the organization becomes a values-driven organization. Hopefully all this makes sense, but we have to make the mission real and remind people, this is who we are. This is what we're all about. Once those things are understood and shared, that organization can be true to its roots and indeed be adaptive and flexible. Thank you. We shall see you next time.